Before you sit down for your next CEO day, there is one thing you absolutely need to do first. As we're heading into the end of the quarter and approaching the halfway point of the year, you should absolutely be blocking time to think strategically about your business for the last half of the year. But what I do myself and what I see a lot of advisors doing is trying to jump straight into strategy mode when they sit down to do their CEO day while they're still carrying around a mental to-do list that's over a mile long. So what's an advisor to do? Well, I'm going to share my trick on how to clear the runway before you do your highest value, most strategic work. I'm currently preparing to host a very special live CEO day for my alumni community, which is this community that I built for advisors to focus on implementation after they complete my Systems to Scale group coaching program. I know firsthand that implementation is really hard. You can't change every process, fix every bottleneck, and transform your entire business in like a month, right? Real change happens through consistent implementation over time. That's why we continue supporting advisors after the program. We want to help them keep making progress, keep refining their businesses, and keep creating systems that actually stick. So as I'm getting ready to do my own CEO day and my own mid-year review for my own business, I was preparing also kind of simultaneously the content for the alumni community CEO day. And I realized there's an extra step that I always have to take before I walk into a strategy session. And I'm guessing that this practice is going to be super helpful to our alumni as well. So I also wanted to share the concept with you. So today I want to talk about why an admin day or an admin hour or two isn't a distraction from your CEO day. It's actually the prerequisite. Because if your brain is cluttered with unfinished tasks, emails you need to respond to, and a bunch of loose ends, it is nearly impossible to think like a CEO. Before you can just dive headfirst into a successful and strategic CEO day, I have to have an admin day first, or at the very least, carve out a couple of admin hours before I sit down for strategic thinking. Now, I'm not talking about like spending an entire day just buried in busy work, but there is something incredibly valuable about, just clearing the decks before you ask yourself to step into that strategic role. For me, that usually means cleaning up both my physical space and my digital space. Meaning it's like working through the emails that have been lingering in my inbox. Maybe it's cleaning up my desktop. Maybe it's organizing files that have been sitting in a working folder waiting to be filed away. Maybe it's knocking out a handful of small tasks that have just quietly been taking up mental space. Because here's what I found, that clutter for me just creates noise. And when my brain is trying to remember all those little loose ends, it's really hard to just create that mental space that is required for a really good strategic CEO day. It's a little bit like trying to have a deep conversation in like a crowded restaurant, right? You can do it, but you're cupping your ear, you're leaning in. It's a lot easier when the background noise just goes away. So I clear some of that clutter first. That way I can show up differently to my CEO day. I'm more focused. I'm definitely less distracted. And I'm better able to look at my business objectively, right? What's working? What's not? Where am I noticing friction? What is my data telling me? For me, it is really hard to do that when I've got, did I respond to that email? Did I send that contract? Did I send that follow-up? When I've got those things lingering in my brain. And here's the other reason I really love doing an admin hour or two beforehand or a whole admin day is that admin work often reveals part of your agenda for the CEO day. As you're working through emails, tasks, and projects, you start noticing patterns. Maybe you answered the same client question 3 times. Hello, template. Maybe you found yourself completing a task that probably should be delegated. Maybe you're having to spend some admin time cleaning up something because a process is broken, or you don't have a process at all for that thing yet. These observations can actually become some opportunities. So if you're planning a CEO day anytime soon, here's my challenge for you. Give yourself an hour or two beforehand to clear the clutter. Like I said, I like to do physical and digital tidying. I always clean up my entire office, clear my desk, and I go through the piles Is anyone else out there a pile person? I'm a big pile person, and I just like to make a giant to-do list. Then I work through it. I knock out all those piles, those lingering tasks. I also then like to clean up my digital space. So maybe as an advisor, you have a working file for some clients that you're doing plans for, and you've got statements and notes and stuff kind of in a working folder that need to be put away that you're done with. Maybe it's the research that you need to do for the Smiths application so your team can get that done and out the door. Whatever it takes to clear out that to-do list so that you can just create that breathing room. Then when CEO time comes, you can sit down and just go after it, because some of the best decisions happen when your mind isn't occupied by all those little annoying things competing for your attention. So once all that admin is handled, then I can prep what I need, like any data information for my CEO day, and I can pack it up to go off-site for my CEO time. So whether you've got just a couple of hours or a whole day or whatever that looks like for you, don't forget this important step. Make sure you've got a few hours to set aside to do those things, the tasks, the to-dos. This will help you maximize your CEO day. And if you're joining us for the Alumni Community CEO Day on June 12th, I look forward to seeing you there. I've got some super cool exercises that we're going to walk through to analyze and strategize. I hope you have a very efficient Friday.